In today's video, we'll answer the question of why you should retire as soon as possible. We'll also break down the hidden costs of delaying retirement. Over the past 11 years in the financial industry, I've noticed a trend of people unnecessarily postponing their retirement due to misguided fears and false information about their financial readiness. Common advice has been pushing people to work longer and save more, and it's very easy for soon-to-be retirees to overestimate how much longer they actually need to work, leaving many to delay retirement unnecessarily. Well, in today's video, we're going to solve this problem by walking you through the exact cost of delaying retirement and why retiring sooner might actually be your best financial move. So in this video, I wanted to walk through some of the things that I have seen as a financial planner working with people who are looking to retire, specifically those that want to retire early. And there's a lot of things you can read online, get great information, but I just wanted to pull out some of the things that I have seen personally working with people in this situation pre-retirement over the last 11 years. So I would say the first reason that keeps people working longer than they actually need to is that they've simply overestimated how much they need to save in order to retire. So what this usually looks like is someone relying on, rules of thumb that you learn about, like the 4% rule. So if you over rely on something like that, it can leave you saving a lot more than you actually need to retire. So let me actually kind of break this down into an example. Let's say you have a husband and wife, age 60 and 58. They want to retire right away, and they know that about $80,000 a year is going to be just right for what they want to spend. Okay, so looking at the 4% rule, pretty simply, we can look at that. They need about $2 million saved to have that amount of income for the rest of their retirement. Seems pretty simple. Okay, what's the problem with that? The problem with that is that if we don't factor in other things that are part of their plan, like both of them having Social Security, then they're going to save much more than they actually need to. So looking at this couple, they've both been working, they have careers, they're both entitled to Social Security benefits. So if we factor in their Social Security benefits, now instead of them needing to save $2 million to retire, they would only need to save about $900,000 to retire, less than half of what they were expecting. So some of the costs specifically for this couple, for number one, I would say probably the biggest cost of this is stressing and so much anxiety around, I gotta work, I gotta save, I gotta work, I gotta save to hit this number. Well, how nice would it be to know that you actually don't need to save that much? What that would mean is you could retire now, retire sooner, you don't have to work as long, or could completely reframe your idea about retirement and maybe, have higher income expectations and that sort of thing. It can totally change your mindset. So the number one issue that I see is, frankly, people overestimating what they actually need to retire. The second issue that I see all the time with retirees is working longer because they don't know how they're going to take care of healthcare. This leads most retirees to making just a baseline assumption that, okay, I have to work until age 65, or my spouse needs to work until age 65, so that they're covered by an employer healthcare plan up until they can transition over to Medicare. So if this is the only reason that's holding you back from retiring, let's say you have, plenty of savings and your plans and everything, you'd really, really like to retire sooner. Well, the whole puzzle about health insurance is one that can totally be solved most of the time. So through the Affordable Care Act and proper structure of a retirement income plan, it's very possible to get affordable health care before age 65 for a husband and wife. And when it comes into play for early retirees, working with clients in their 40s or 50s who still might have young children or teenagers and they want to retire, the Affordable Care Act also makes this very possible to be able to cover health care for even, for households with children. It can actually even make it even better. So not understanding how healthcare works can lead somebody who has big plans about what they'd like to do with the rest of their life. It can keep them stuck in their 9-to-5 corporate gig, working much longer than they actually need to. The third reason that I want to talk about is the idea of moving the goalpost. I see this a lot with, Well, I was going to say that I see it mostly with men, and I think that's probably right. But if I thought about it for a minute, I'm sure I could think of some other examples of this happening with women. as well. But it just seems to me I've got so many thoughts in my mind of couples that I've worked with, and the husband or or the man of the relationship is insisting on saving more and delaying retirement even longer, even though they've already hit like their stated financial numbers that they need in order to retire. And so once they get to that number, let's say that's like, okay, for us to have the income we want and everything, by age 59, we need, $2 million, let's just say, for someone's particular plan. So they get there, they have the $2 million, and they go, well, we get like a bunch of what about isms. And so retirement gets delayed. Well, what about the economy? Or what about, politics right now? It's an election year. What about, there's this war, there's this thing happening around the world. Or what about, if, we need more money for this or that. And sometimes, frankly, this isn't all like black and white and like good and bad. You might actually come up with other things that could impact your plan that need to be considered. But I'd say most of the time, what I see is this is somebody who has, who's paralyzed by fears and uncertainty about the future, and it keeps them working unnecessarily longer. They keep moving the goalpost. They say, instead of 2 million, let's have 2.5, or let's just wait an extra year and a half, or whatever the case is, because they're worried about something that could happen. Now, let's just like call out the elephant in the room when it comes to delaying retirement. What is the main benefit, or what is the real, whatever? What's the biggest benefit I can happen to think of right now about delaying retirement? You're going to have more money. You're going to have a bigger pile of gold, right, that you can draw on for retirement income. That means you'll probably be able to have higher monthly income in retirement. You'll be able to do other things that maybe you couldn't do otherwise. You've also kind of chopped off 1 year of life expectancy from your income plan. So for that reason as well, you can plan on spending more. So the question is, let's talk about some of the costs about delaying retirement. If the benefit is that you'll have more money, you have to ask yourself, is that the number one objective? Is our objective here saving for retirement just like winning a game, see who can stack up the most chips, see who can get the biggest pile of money before they retire? Like, is that what's actually going to make you happy? Is that what's actually going to be something worth writing in your journal and telling your grandkids about? Hey, guess what? I saved a lot of money. Is that what's actually going to make you happy? I suspect that for most of us, what we actually want is we want to feel some financial security, and that's a real thing. Not feeling like you have to worry about, having enough. So that's real. Then it's also things like, you probably want to spend time doing other things other than what you do for work, perhaps. You want to have the freedom to explore hobbies. You want to have the time and the luxury to spend time in the places and with the people that are important to you, with your family, with your spouse, with your grandkids, with your friends. You want to go places and see places you've never been before. You want to create memories and do things while your health is still you're as healthy as possible. Those are probably the things that are more valuable to you than just being able to log into your brokerage account or into your 401k and see, the number getting bigger. All right, for as exciting as that might be, that's really not what most of us want. So I hope this video has been helpful, and there's a lot of other ideas that I have, but we'll leave it there for today. Now you've seen why retiring as soon as you can might be the best choice, and you can start taking steps to make early retirement a reality. However, there are personal factors I couldn't address in this short video. If you want to explore the complexities of early retirement and how it could work for your situation, click the link in the description.